Previously from the Hood Blogger.
Bodies, they was just trying to pin everything on him. So, after he was sitting and he got charged for that second body and ended up getting hit with another life sentence, he just went to his PD, bro, because he didn't have no lawyer. He went. This SB Twiz, the Hood Blogger. Y'all know how I carry it. Shout out to everybody that been rocking with the content. I appreciate y'all. The new sub, salute. Welcome to the family. The day ones, y'all already know how I carry it. If y'all new to the channel, bro, hit that sub, scroll down the timeline. Y'all won't be disappointed. Today, I want to get into a heavy story, but before I get into the story, I just gotta ask y'all, as a man, if you in a situation, you might have a family, whether you carrying your mortgage or your rent, and let's just say you got a 9 to 5, but that 9 to 5 ain't cutting it. Where we come from, at the end of the day, as a man, we do what we gotta do to pay the bills. Sometimes even if we gotta, break the laws that's regulated. Now, this is a prime example of one of them stories. It's like sometimes as a man, you get backed up in the corner. You might have to, cut some coke up, or you dig what I'm saying? You might have to do what you gotta do to get that bag by any means necessary. And this story is definitely, fits that description. This was a story that nobody probably really talked about besides the time that this happened. And during the time that this story happened, the YouTube blogs and all that wasn't really touching up on this type of stuff. But, I want to shed some light on this story, and I'm going to get straight into this little paperwork. May 4th, 2008, the suspects were cold and calculated. Sources say as Sergeant Stephen Liczbinski was about to pull over the alleged criminals when one of the suspects said banging with the rifle. Moments later, Skrilla and Almond Street investigators say Howard Cain emerged from a Jeep and fired an AR, hitting and rocking the 12-year-old veteran. Deputy Police Commissioner William Blackburn describes the weapon as being similar to an AK-47, but it was actually a SK. It's got tremendous firepower and was loaded with 25 rounds. Philadelphia police released the suspects' names linked to the body of Sergeant Stephen Liczbinski. The man is in custody and charged with the jammy mission in the body. And the other crimes has been identified as 38-year-old Levon Warner. Police are trying to find 33-year-old Eric Deshaun Floyd. Floyd is 5'8", 155 pounds. Also goes by the name Hashim. Investigators say he recently escaped from a halfway house in Brenton, PA, and should be considered armed and dangerous. The third suspect, 33-year-old Howard Cain, was hit and got his life taken during confrontation with the Philadelphia police. Eric Floyd and Howard Cain, the dead suspect, both lived in apartments on West Clearfield and West Kensington. Now, I want y'all to remember Howard Cain. Howard Cain is, the brother that got his life taken. Basically, what happened, they had jammed it was a Bank of America inside the supermarket. You know how, I don't know if it's like that around the world, but in Philly, they got like a lot of mini banks inside the market. So they had jammed the bank inside the market, It's broad daylight. It was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that on a Saturday. They went in them Jones with them choppers, and they was going to get that bread by any means necessary. So if you think of a normal, bank mission, it might not be that crowded in the bank when the person go hit it. But now, with them going in the market, you got the traffic from the people in the market that can see y'all going up in there with them choppers. So they just went in there like, listen, bro, we getting that. So I'm just going to get back to, what this document said. Liczbinski, 39 years old, serving the 24th district, encountered suspects from the holdup of the Bank of America branch inside ShopRite located at 3547 Aramingo Avenue around 11:26 a.m. on Saturday. On the 2500 block of East Schiller Street, Liczbinski found a dark-colored Jeep that the suspects used to get away. That's when police say Cain drew a SK and started chopping at Liczbinski, fatally wounding the officer. Liczbinski was hit 3 times, suffering wounds to the face and abdomen. He was rushed to Northeastern Hospital and then transferred to Temple University Hospital, where he later passed. The suspects then switched out vehicles and jumped into a Chrysler Town and Country minivan. AK-49 officers spotted the group and pulled over the vehicle in the 500 block of East Schiller Street. Police say Kane tried to unload that chopper again, but it jammed. 2 other officers fired and hit the 33-year-old criminal. The other suspects fled. A short time later, police say Warner flagged down an officer and said his van had been stolen. The minivan reported stolen by Warner is the minivan that police recovered along the 500 block of East Schiller Street. Crime investigators collected the SK assault rifle from the sidewalk near along the van, along with clothing linked to the bank mission. Inside the van, police found a fully loaded .44 revolver, 2 sets of Islamic garms, about $38,000 in cash, and 2 GPS tracking devices. During that Saturday night, police were engaged in an all-out manhunt for the suspects that got away. SWAT teams went from door to door searching for the cop takers. Police are now looking into possible links between the suspects in this crime and other jammy missions that were in the city in which the perpetrators were wearing Muslim clothing. During the investigation along the 3400 block of North Miller Street, police found a Jeep that had been reported stolen Friday. This is the vehicle police believe that the Jeep involved into the shooting the officer Liczbinski. A 12-year-old veteran of the department was recently promoted to rank of sergeant. He would have celebrated his 40th birthday this coming Tuesday, May 6th. So let me just break it down where they say, they had covered the Muslim clothing and all of that. Basically what they did was they had put on garms that, Muslims wear. For those of y'all that's not familiar, you know what I mean? They had like basically full garms, niqab on and everything, so they went in there thinking that, that would throw everything off, staff for Allah, but that's just how they went in there and that's how they was feeling. Now, as I told y'all earlier, I had wanted y'all to remember Howard Cain. Now, Howard Cain is, the guy that's basically on the thumbnail. He's the furthest to the left. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna actually probably try to drop the picture right while I'm explaining them. So Howard Cain's story is the story that pretty much reached and it hit the the headlines basically through the radio. The 2 brothers, they ended up getting locked up. The ones that had survived. I was actually overpicked at the same time as them. I was on G1, and that was the jail that they sent them to. They wasn't on the same block as me, but they was definitely overpicked. If I'm not mistaken, I think they was in a bucket. When I had got over there, they was already in the jail, but I heard, chitter chatter about them being over there. So basically, Howard Cain's wife did like an interview through the radio station. His wife would go to say that basically Howard Cain was he was dealing with financial issues. He was trying to do the 9-to-5 thing. Already a convicted felon. He was trying to live life the righteous way. But their house was in the process of getting, foreclosed. He couldn't keep up with the mortgage. The bills was bad. He told his wife that, he was going to get the money and make sure that they was all right. His wife didn't know that, he was going to go do that with 2 of his comrades or whatever. So after he left out, he was like, I'm gonna come back with that money. When he left out, he went to go do the mission. You know what I'm saying? As he went to go do the mission, it got messy, and the cops obviously arrived, as y'all heard. It was a major chop out, and as y'all can see, it was 12 o'clock on a Saturday in the middle of Philly, in a real high traffic area. So, from what I heard, they was just getting rid of it. They was just throwing stuff across the street while they was running. It got real messy. Howard Cain, after he hit that officer up, he had got in the wheel. When he got up the wheel, bro, he called his wife. He called his wife on the phone while they was driving in that van. And his wife said that when she answered the phone, she could hear in his voice that something definitely wasn't right. All he said was, baby, come pick me up. Come pick me up. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to explain to where he was at during the time before he could even answer that. That's when they got into the confrontation with the other cops that had pulled them over. And then that's when he hopped out the wheel while he was in the car. He hopped out and, he basically tried to, air that car out. You know what I'm saying? And at the time of him trying to air the joint out, that's when his situation had jammed. And, the cops had took him down. The cops took him down right while he was on the phone with his wife. So as his wife would go to do the interview, she would say, he was really, a good guy. And, he did that not to, justify it, but he did it trying to save their family because they was, on the verge of ended up being homeless. So that's pretty much the story of that. I don't really know the backstory of the two other brothers. I know they said one guy was on the run from the halfway house. And, it was an unfortunate situation, on all angles. I mean? It just ended up being a crazy bloodbath out there. But for the youngest that's watching this, man, it's going to be times where it's going to be tight out there. And you might have a job and you feel like it ain't hitting like it's supposed to. Just continue to build yourself up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just because you at this one job or whatever your living circumstances is, it ain't the end. You grind to get to the next level. And especially nowadays, it's a lot more opportunity to win. So as y'all can see, you know what I'm saying, the streets don't pay. But this SB Twins, the Hood Blogger, y'all know I give it to y'all raw and uncut. Make sure y'all stay tuned in.